do it.
And doing the remote shit is good, you know?
Yeah, but Pete should have his stuff in the next day or so. So we be in the game.
Oh, you ordered him some shit?
Yeah.
Oh, Dolly hooked him up?
Yeah, I ordered him a little Zoom.
Oh,
So he
like
can
the one I
plug
got
right
over
into
here?
his. Yeah, so he can plug right, like the one you got. Which one is it?
It's this one right here. It's I got another one that's that's the bigger one, the Roadcaster. But I got this
Nah, the
one.
small Zoom. Yeah.
I got this right here. He
I
want
can't
this
see
one,
it.
dog.
It ain't in the camera.
This one does good with the
What is it
computer
called?
because it's a Pod Track P4.
Pod Track P4. And that plug in like an interface?
Yeah, you just plug in just like to a USB, dog.
All right.
It's really easy to use. Like I could show Peter how to hook that up. It ain't gonna be no whole bunch of technical shit, you
All
know?
right, I need to get Alcatraz one, and I need to get Joey and Deuce one. They could get the same one.
Yeah, they gonna start podcasting.
Nah, but when they got to do their interviews, you know what I'm saying, like remotely, we don't want it to sound like trash. Same for Alcatraz. I don't want it to sound like fucked up. So if somebody around us, they need to have it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. That's what I said. I'm about to
And
get
it's,
8
and there's
one of them
4 outlets
motherfuckers.
on there too.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Thing in the battery operated too. The thing I like about this dog is I could take this motherfucker places with me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You told me about that one.
Hey G, could I take this out and then just you turn that up a little more?
No, because if we turn it up, why it sound funny? What's a
So
little delay?
yeah,
It's okay for a little delay because if you I don't know if you I can't turn this up because you'll hear it into the mic.
all right, cool.
So it's
Now I
no
have to
sneaky.
deal with it.
Yeah, just kind of adjust to it a little bit.
You're gonna get some pregnant pauses so I could get out what I gotta get out.
All right.
Let me see something, bro.
So Trash,
Hmm.
what's your favorite? So okay, hold up. So you looking in the camera, so people don't think you here. So you got to look in the camera, Trash. That's the catch. You talking to
That's what.
yeah, because I don't want you to look because you could look at me and shit. I'm like, don't look at me.
Yeah,
You
I
know
want
what I
to
mean?
be
Look at
like,
the camera.
hey, this look a little bit more fly because I ain't got no big ass headphones on. I hate looking like a motherfucking detective on podcast.
Your
You know what I'm
head
saying?
big.
But you know what I'm saying? It's better now, right then. I can hear y'all niggas and we cool. We
Exactly.
Gucci.
As long as you have it low enough, you won't get no feed. I ain't gonna pick it up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm Gucci right there. I got the little earbuds on, dog. Let me see. Put
It's
my
funny
other
if
one
I
in
if I
there,
had
bro.
the extension, I can get you. Well, no, I couldn't hear it. All right, so today we're gonna start fuck it. Trash, what's your favorite diss record of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time, Tony. What's your favorite diss record of all time?
I'll say the one that I have memorized that it's never left my brain was second round knockout.
The cannabis joint.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you like so much about it?
He just went in. The beat was hard. He had Tyson on it. It was raw. And he was just getting off. Like everything he was saying was like personals. Like it was a no holds bar. He just went at LL.
Until LL came back and wore that ass out.
Hold up, see, now don't even get into this.
I don't know
boys.
if that's
See?
true.
Here we go.
Man, he said that nigga LL said you swinging a rusty sword, but I swing the Excalibur.
That's great.
LL went in on that nigga, man. He went in
He
on that
said,
crackhead looking
stick
kid.
you for your Vanguard or the ward for your front of your mom, your first, second, and third barn. What else did he say? Make your mom get on a horn, call Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah,
I don't
guess,
know.
What's your favorite diss record of all time, big bro?
Man, you know what, man? I got so many on so many different levels, man. I kind of like when MC Light wore Antoinette ass out with 10% disc.
I
Oh,
remember
shut the
hearing
fuck
that.
up. You know what I'm
My big
saying?
sister used to listen to that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, that's where you get the whole shit. Goddamn hoe, here we go again. You know, a bunch of motherfuckers. Whenever you get people quoting your disses, dog,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like even
classic.
niggas don't quote that. Goddamn hoe, here we go again. And that was the
Yeah.
first time I really heard somebody cussing on a record like that. Like, damn, like, ooh, you know what I mean? But I would have to say, man, possibly one of the greatest diss tracks of all time is Ice Cube, No Vaseline, dog.
It's my favorite diss record of all time.
Because it was just so personal, dog. Like, you know, it's like because Cube was being cool, he had this amicable split to where he wasn't saying nothing, and they kind of went in on him a little bit, you know, with a skit. It's like it was the equivalent of me hitting somebody with a spitball and them turning around with an AK-47 and just opening my chest up.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it was. They came with a skit. Oh, we gonna cut your curl off. Oh, fuck you, Ice Cube, and this and that. The little skit, it sounded good till he came back with, "Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off," which is kind of a little old to MC Light. 10% this. Goddamn, ho, here we go again. Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be hard, now you just wet and soft. First, you was down with the AK. Now I see you on a video with Miss Chalet looking like
I
straight
seen that
bozos.
video. I seen that video for the first time the other day with Easy and Dre. And it was a Miss Chalet song. I think it was Nicety and or something. And niggas was dressed like Easy was dressed like an angel or something. And Dre had on this weird suit. And I was like, damn, I never seen this video. But then it made No Vaseline make so much more sense. I was like, oh, I get what he meant. Now I see you on the video with Miss Chalet.
That was
No
pretty
ceilings.
raw, dog.
No ceilings. GL. My man Peter running a little late. He was washing some clothes. I think he was hanging out with a whore. I brought my man Tony Nario, one of my partners, you feel me? Rhyme, a real hip-hop historian. Hip-hop in his title, you feel me? So, and of course, my big bro, my manager and resident, and the reason I actually podcast for real, Big Still is here.
What's happening, everybody?
It's dope to have y'all here to talk about this conversation because between both of y'all knowledge of hip hop, with neither one of you guys being from New York, I thought that's dope.
What you saying?
I thought it's dope that neither one of y'all are from New York, but with y'all two together, I have a ton of, like, I can access a ton of things about hip hop because of how deep y'all go back into the culture and y'all love it, especially New York. Y'all have a very serious preference of New York hip hop.
We're hip hop. We're New York sympathizers.
Very much so. Very much so.
You agree with that still?
Y'all. Yeah, a little something, man. I just like good records, dog. I don't really know if I'm a New York sympathizer, so to speak, because they haven't been making, they got some cool records now, dog. I ain't dissing New York,
you didn't want to tell the truth. They're
not really making no records. They're not really bringing no heat like that right now, dog.
Okay, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. We got to put the pressure on.
They got some cats. It's the usual suspects. They making all right records. Like Nas is doing his thing now.
Yeah, me and G had a debate about that the other day. He don't agree that Nas has dropped 3 classic projects back to back.
That's just silly.
He has.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
feel weird saying that about Nas, especially these 3, because Hit Boy is my young nigga, man. So to have to debate with you that they are not classics, it's obvious they're not classics.
Oh, Nas is the comeback artist of the year, though, dog. For him to reinvent himself the way he did, dog, and he's going into his 20th year, dog, the 25th year.
Something like that. Make stuff up. He didn't reinvent himself.
No, he didn't reinvent himself. I agree with that.
Himself, dog. He fucking with younger artists.
What is he now?
Huh?
What is he now?
He did. He reinvented himself, bro.
Do you think? Let me say this.
He stepped up his production, dog, and everything.
Let me ask you this.
You trying to say Hit Boy is a better producer than the guys he was working with? That's what you want to do? That's what you want to be with Jesus?
Ain't this his first Grammy?
Yeah. But the Grammys is a small bunch of people saying they like your music. That ain't what the public's saying.
And that's cool, though, because I'm trying to get them small amount of people to say Glasses Malone.
I'm not knocking the Grammy. I'm just saying I agree that he's took him in a different direction that he hasn't been in. But I wouldn't say that these are 3 classics, and I wouldn't say he reinvented himself.
Well, you know what, dog?
But since we talking about Nas, right?
Ether.
This will be the first time I ever admitted this publicly. Nas beat Jay-Z in that battle.
He did, dog.
All of a sudden.
Acknowledge that.
All of a sudden.
I would never answer the question initially. Feel me? I would never answer the question when people would say who. I'm like, nobody care who won the battle, who won the war. That was always my response when people would talk about the battle between Jay and Nas. I'd be like, man, who won the war? You feel me? That was my response when somebody say who won the battle. But for the first time in my life, I'll admit Nas won the battle, and I'll admit Ether is a top 5 all-time greatest diss record. It might be number 2. It's between Hit 'Em Up and that one.
Oh, Hit 'Em Up with some shit. You know what I did? You know what I loved Hit 'Em Up as a record, dog? What I didn't like about it was that it was so personal.
Shit,
It's
so is
like
Ether.
well, Ether was personal. Well, you know what? Ether had to be personal. You think about it, Jay knocked the nigga's baby mama down, dog.
That didn't come out till after though.
Yeah, but
Like
even,
Super Ugly was after Ether.
well, he said in the takeover, because you know who did you know what to you know who. Just keep that between me and you, nigga.
But he didn't. Yeah, but it was implied. He didn't say it.
Well, I think we was on the West, so we didn't know, but I think it was a common kind of gossip point in New York that he had knocked down Carmen. So when he said that on Takeover is a nasty ass diss record. Nasty.
Yeah, Takeover. Actually, if they had a different timeline and those records came out of different sequences, like Jay got too emotional on Super Ugly.
Super Ugly,
it was just
Which
too
was
emotional.
whack.
It was
Yeah,
like
that was a whack diss record.
it was like it was whack dog, and it was so uncharacteristic of Jay, because Jay is always the cool nigga. I just picture him popping some peanuts, just sitting back right in his bar, like, yeah, I'm about to serve this nigga. I'm gonna tell you who else too fuck niggas over, and he's probably gonna go down as one of the greatest diss nigga makers of all time, is Pusha T.
Man, that Pusha T to Drake, that shit was like,
Yeah,
that shit
Story
was
of
from
Adonis was cold.
man, that
And
shit
I'm gonna
was from
tell
an
you why
ancient
Pusha
time.
T is so. I'm gonna tell you why. And Pusha T almost got my favorite diss record of all time.
I'm not mad at that.
He almost got it because not only did he put out quality diss records, they was against top flight opponents. Like
Yeah,
when
he
he
only
went
would-
against,
He
when
only
he
would
went at
lock in
Wayne,
with top flight dudes.
yeah, when he went at Wayne, that's mixtape Weezy. You feel what I'm saying? He served Wayne. I was glad, you know.
I wouldn't say he served Wayne. Wayne definitely didn't push the battle.
Dog, contract all fuck up. I guess that means you all fucked up. You signed to one nigga that signed to another nigga that signed to three niggas.
That was
now, that's
ill
bad
bars.
luck.
But again, those weren't diss records. Those was bars within regular joints. Don't get me wrong. That story of whatever how you pronounce it, Adidon, or however you pronounce it, that shit was like. What's crazy is like that diss record was so fucking dope. I remember listening, just being like, damn, this nigga sound like a nigga out the 90s. But speaking of the nigga he was battling, feel me, Drake, back to back should be in the top 10 diss records of all time.
Drake understood, dog. I think Drake really understood, and Drake can rap, dog. I'm not gonna say I'm not a Drake hater. Drake can rap his ass off.
And I get a lot of slack. I think people think of me like I hate Drake, and it's like, bro, if you met Drake, I met him. He's a cool guy. Like he's one of those guys you happy for when they win, but I've always been honest and understand that he's not hip hop. Like he's not a part of the culture. And I'm not saying a part of music. He's not a part of what hip hop is, and you don't have to be. Like he's one.
So you don't think he's the embodiment of hip hop?
No,
I'm sure he would disagree.
Yeah, I'm sure he would, because everybody wants to be a
loves
part.
hip hop.
You said who?
I think he's a cat that loves and respects the art form.
No, I think 100%. I think he's a super fan of it. I think he has an entitlement to be around it, and he does study it. It's a lot of love for Drake. Drake has for hip hop, and I'm not saying that. That's not the point. I'm saying what hip hop embodies, he doesn't embody, and that's fine. He don't have to. You know what I'm saying? It's the confusion that you have to. That nigga is one of the greatest rappers ever. He's a fantastic mainstream rapper. But again, back to back is one of those joints that's a top 10 diss record. You know what I'm saying? When you hear back to back, and I listened to it the other day, I was actually trying to fuck with the hats for it on another record I had. And it's just really, really good.
Yeah, I felt really uncomfortable for Meek Mill when Drake came out with that. I said, damn, Meek.
What's funny is I found myself, because I felt like Meek kind of popped out on some weird shit, like talking about niggas retweeting albums. So I kind of looked like, that's like.
Yeah, he was reaching, dog. I think he was reaching, I think he thought, you know what Meek thought? He thought that Drake was the soft, light-skinned white boy in high school, and he thought he was going to slap him in the back of the head and there wasn't going to be no fight.
So I found myself kind of rooting for him, Drake, to stand up for himself. And man, when he dropped back to back, I remember just being enamored. So, which brings me to my next question. Where did it go from battling, like, right? So to me, the greatest diss record of the 80s is people say Roxanne, but I think Revenge of Rock. But I think the greatest diss record of all time at that time period is, I mean, of all time in the 80s is The Bridge Is Over.
Mm,
I would probably give you that, dog, because at that
that was
time, you
devastating.
got to remember, KRS-One was coming from a position of being he wasn't as popping as the Juice Crew. The Juice Crew was popping at that time.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Marley Marl.
It's almost the equivalent of some nigga coming out of nowhere and just dissing TDE.
Yeah, and then having to say, like, really,
You know what I'm saying? And really having it to where he like talking about he running through the Nickerson Gardens, he coming to Compton and doing this, and he really smashing them niggas.
Yeah, he
and it's a
smashed
nigga from
them.
Gardena or something. You know what I'm saying?
So the question I'm asking, not from Gardena, the Bronx is not Gardena. That's fucked up.
No.
My niggas gonna pack you out over there. And Gardena ain't no punk, but that ain't the Bronx. It's just different. But
No, I would say the Bronx is probably more Watts than anything else, man. The Bronx is probably
the
Watts.
Bronx is some shit. But so no, the question I was asking is, when did it go from simple battling, like that time where them dudes could battle and hash out they who wants to be better on records, into where it's at now, where diss records are getting people killed, like with what possibly happened with Young Dolph, where diss records for sure got him shot up a couple times. For sure got him shot up a couple times, those same diss records, and they were saying the same shit about each other. Like, it wasn't like Chris, KRS-One was in the 80s was like, hey, I rap better than you guys, I'm just better. He was talking shit. He was talking shit about how you look, niggas was whack, niggas is bummy, talking about a whole town. Like, he literally
Called
talked
Roxanne
about
Shantae a hoe.
Yeah, like he went off. So how didn't at that time, because he was saying the same fucked up shit, how at that time was it just battling versus today, where it's like literally like this shit is a real implication of like niggas is tripping over it.
Well, I think it's gotten worse, but I think it was always that. Like, didn't Cube and Lynch Mob have like issues with Eazy-E's crew, and like there was fights and stuff that broke out? It didn't get that far, because I don't think that, like, it's kind of weird, man. I think, again, I hate to always connect it to this, but social media has really created this extra level of bravado and embarrassment, and like where you can't, like, someone can't say nothing because like you could be tuned in live and you might have 50 followers or 50 people viewing, but to you that's the whole world if somebody disses you. So now you feel like you gotta protect your manhood, and these dudes are young, so they're young dealing with this, a lot of them. But like in the Young Dolph case, like, I mean, he's an older guy, right? He was about 30 something, 36, 37. So at that point, I think you start dealing with crews and the young cats that run with the older dudes, and OGs not
doing
really
doing stuff to prove themselves,
right? And then the older guys not acting accordingly, bro. Like, I think we run into that all the time. Probably all three of us. Still, Glasses, me. We're older, but we still relatively look young. We've taken care of ourselves. We're not big. We don't wear ourselves out. So sometimes certain cats, they come to you and you try to give them grown advice, even though we might look young. Up here is where it's at. So we're giving actual knowledge and understanding, like, yo, bro, I wouldn't do that because this, that, and the third. Whereas it's a lot of dudes that are older now. I won't name any names, but some cats that I look at already in their late 40s, early 50s, and they still out there kind of acting like young dudes. So if they're not giving guidance to these young boys, like, my favorite story was when they said Nori said that they was gonna go at Pac with the diss. I'm sorry, not Pac, DPG with the LA record, and Big told him, and Big was still young at the time, but was their big homie. He was still older than them, and he was like, nah, man, don't respond to that. Like, that's what you should be doing, right? But not saying that what you say that they're gonna follow, but just saying that at least try to implement something to where it detours them from doing that kind of bullshit, because they real trigger happy now, and it's not, people say put the gun down and fight, man. Now they take an ass whooping and you whoop their ass, they gonna come back and shoot you.
I
That's
think
it. You know what? I never thought about that. He made a good point. Cube did end up getting into it with Ruthless. They end up fighting where at Jack the Rapper, right?
Yeah, but you know what? In those situations, G, there was never the remote possibility of somebody getting killed.
I
You
don't think
understand what
that's
I mean?
true. I don't think they
No,
genuinely believe that.
I believe that just me talking to different cats like Bob around that area, it was some scraps because you got to remember, with them it was personal too because it just wasn't a rap record. Because I heard actually niggas sat around and laughed about that shit. I heard when they heard it, niggas was like, "Damn, that shit is hard." You know what I
Well,
mean?
that shit sound cool. I know them niggas. First off, my man Pete has jumped. Pete has entered the chat.
Yeah, you know.
Happy to be here, guys.
Let's keep landing on this, G, because at that time, man, you got to remember, right? Bob was doing a lot of production for Cube at that time. You know, at that time when he went solo and stuff. He
Shout out
knew
to OG Bobcat. What's happening?
and he still knew Ren and them because you know he was the in-house producer for Ruthless at that time. You know, he had kind of took that stuff over. And it was some laughs and jokes about that. You got to remember, his beef wasn't really with NWA. That was more side crew stuff. Q wasn't fighting nobody. The lynch mob was scrapping.
But I'm saying, then that means if you can fight, that means it's possible somebody can shoot. It's always that
and I'm gonna tell
possibility.
you, the thing that Tony said about social media and just the youth of today, and I ain't gonna turn this into no thing like today's kids is all bad because in a lot of ways,
please don't do that.
and because in a lot of ways, the youth of this era are more mature than the so-called OGs. Look at the madness that's going on online. All these dudes over 40, you know. But the thing is, keep keeping this about hip hop, dog. I just think right now the light is on you so much. See, back then you can get beat up and nobody would ever see the fight. They would just hear about it. You feel what I'm saying? It was the same thing with music. People would just kind of hear it and they didn't get to see who all went through stuff. It's like now you diss somebody, you go see a video to come along with it. They go clown you. They may be going through your neighborhood. So with youth comes a little bit of like just an extra hubris and an extra arrogance, dude, to where when your pride or your ego is bruised, it's almost like the equivalent of somebody getting their ass whooped in front of their girl because their girlfriend got to hear this record and they like, damn, he fucked my dude up. You know what I mean? It's like some shit you just can't deny. And I think people can't handle it, bro. Sometimes people can't handle getting hit in the mouth in front of their girl.
Well, I think what's crazy too is that even East Coast hip hop now, it's gotten violent. Where theirs used to be more on wax. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but I felt like it was more understood that or expected for a West Coast beef to actually happen where someone might get shot or beat up or something like that.
Gang culture, sure.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And it's all about, I'm gonna tell you, social media and the internet plays a huge part of it because now what it is, you just don't have the perspective crews going back and forth. You have these people online that don't have a life, and people look at the comments, dude. If you look at the comments, people take sides, they become a part of the movement. So when you the dude that's that possibly took the bad one in one of these battles, you know, you can't help you get to looking at the comments and all that stuff, and you like, oh, because it seems so much bigger than what it is in reality. Nobody gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I never. What's funny is, I never thought to myself like as like with the diss records, people dissing each other. I don't think. Traz made a good point. Maybe it's never been like that. Maybe that's all in our head, that it was a space to put out a record disrespecting somebody else and it not actually become real world consequences.
I'm gonna tell you why what Traz is saying it rings so true. And it, you know, G, when did we start a podcasting? It was a while ago, right? It was way before it was popular like it is now.
Or something.
Yeah. So you figure when we started, dude, there weren't as many people from the hip hop community involved in podcasting. And I don't want to be hypocritical because we are members of the hip hop community that got started early on in the technology, right?
Yeah.
But since hip hop has got involved in podcasting, I'm gonna tell you they brought a certain level of bullshit to it too. So it's like I think it's just a confrontational art form anyway, bro. And especially today, You know what I'm saying? Everything is highlighted. Everything is right there in front of you, kind of, bro. And you can't escape it because you would be sitting down watching the movie on your phone and a notification to pop up with somebody talking shit from Australia to you.
But again, it's not even that's true. It does feel like it's a bigger world problem, but it's still very minimal. It's still very minimal. But what's funny is it ain't exclusive to just hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Jackson dissed his brother. You feel me? Michael Jackson. He got a diss record called Word to the Bad. You ever heard that, Pete?
Nah.
Yeah, it's called Word to the Bad. Huh?
Might have been.
I'm pretty sure Jermaine was just hating.
See that you can't do that. You just pick sides. That's one thing I never did. I never pick sides. I don't pick sides in no battle.
With Michael in no kind of
Maybe
way.
the closest I've picked a side in was Drake and Meek because I just wanted Drake to stand up for himself. I thought that was dope,
Yeah,
but I didn't pick a side. I wanted Meek to come back, and I wanted.
I don't think there's any risk that Drake was going to go smoke Meek.
Was that even you picking a side, or just you liking the record more?
Well, no, I wanted Drake to stand up for himself. That was the thing. Like I didn't. I thought that if it's because y'all friends and you was disappointed that Cuz didn't tweet your album, you know, you could get on the phone or text Cuz and say, "Hey, man, damn, I need you to please tweet my album." Versus, you know, maybe you asked him once and you didn't want to ask him a second or third time, so your feelings was hurt. So then you decided, okay, well, I'm gonna get online and go at him, regardless if it's the truth or not. You know, if that's your partner or you fuck with him, I mean, you could have did that. So I did want Drake to stand up. So that's the closest. But even with Cube and NWA, I never picked a side when I was younger. With Dre and Easy, I enjoyed all the diss records. I never picked a side. I never had to pick between Dre Day or Real or motherfucking G. You know, I never picked between those. What's your favorite diss record, Pete, of all time?
Oh man, that's a tough one. There's actually kind of some all right ones. You know, I think what T.I. did to Flip was pretty impressive.
That was impressive.
That was pretty all right. Some of the little back and forth in the Bay Area have been kind of cool. Real motherfucking G's is actually really fucking good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like
he put
really
his foot in that
good.
motherfucker.
Well, all the records that were actually like big hit records that were diss records are definitely the best.
For sure.
What's funny is Dre Day, fuck with Dre Day on a Chronic. That is one of the most like underrated and disrespected diss of all times. We never talk about it because it was such a big smash record that I think we forget it was a straight up diss.
I didn't forget. That shit is amazing.
But we never name it, and it's a fantastic diss. They cut off a lot.
It's probably the best diss song ever made.
Well, I think
the way it was composed as a record.
Easy also was never really respected as a rapper like that. I think that has a lot to do with it.
But shit. Yes, I did when I was younger. But Real Motherfucking G's is like I said, when he came back with it, I thought it was
probably his best shit ever.
Yeah, low key.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Not as a rapper, but like as a battle rappers at one time before that was happening with Cube and them. Like Cube was also kind of like looked at like almost like the lyricism of an East Coast MC, right? Like that was the whole conversation back then of how good he was. So although I'm agreeing with you with Eazy-E said, you know, how good he was he really looked at as an MC at that time?
I mean, I don't think rap. See, I'm too young, but I don't think rap. I mean, maybe it did. You got to ask Still in them. I don't think rap had that stigma of. Maybe in New York they probably would have been talking shit about Easy, but I think the rest of the country took Eazy-E serious as hell, and he was a lot of people's favorite rapper.
Let me pull the theory off you guys if you don't mind.
I think he was dope.
Man, Easy didn't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm gonna tell you now. Bob told me Easy always thought all that shit was hilarious. Yeah. He didn't care because Easy was in it for the coin, man. Easy didn't give a fuck about being looked at as the most revered rapper of all time. Easy wanted the check.
Right.
For sure.
He made sure he had dope motherfuckers writing that shit he was saying.
Is it fair to say that Easy knew how to sell culture before Snoop did?
Oh, hell definitely. Yeah. He set the tone for the culture.
He set the tone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think Ice-T set the tone first with how you talk about it. Like before Ice-T, everybody would be rapping about, you know, when it came to gangster rap, they still would be rapping about being a dope rapper or about how good they DJ was, as well as the street stuff. I think with Ice-T, you got the first record that was big where it wasn't about being a rapper. He didn't say shit about rapping. He didn't say shit about DJs. He was like, yo, this is how we living. 6 a.m, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across the bathroom floor. Out my back window to make my escape. Like he was just rapping about what it was like for them dudes when they, and you know, and he was out there. So, okay, so moving forward, where
Let
are
me ask
we
you a
at
question.
when it comes to, huh?
I was going to ask you a question a few minutes ago
Go ahead,
before I
go
lose my
ahead,
train of thought.
go ahead.
I look at kind of now there's been a little bit of an uptick in like, I don't know how you guys started. I wasn't here, but it seemed like you guys were kind of starting off how kind of get a manifestation of diss records kind of spilling over into a little bit more than verbal, you know, lately.
Yeah.
And like for me personally, like I kind of am a tweener a little bit on generations and lived in a lot of cities back to back to back coming up. And I get the impression that like the guys say who came up in the 80s and 90s, like it was hard out there. Like it was a different time in 88 than it was in 2008, you know, just out there. And I feel like people to some degree had a little bit more respect for the other guy. And you come up and it's a little bit more talk. Like when I had first moved to Oakland in 04, people were polite in the club because it popped off so immediately that there was a looming cloud of consequences at all times. After a while, about 2015 in LA, people did whatever the fuck they wanted. And a lot of people just kind of, you know, hey, this guy's just kind of all talk. And I feel like it got to a point where a lot of guys shot their mouth off a lot. And now you get on the podcast, you get in a record, it can be kind of subtle. It can be like, oh, he took a jab at him. People now get on Instagram, they get on a podcast, whatever, and they're taking these long-winded, like way over the line attacks on people thinking they're not going to do anything. And now they're actually doing something. And I think there's probably a little bit of a learning curve with the way people conduct themselves is regard to respecting that the other guys might going to do something to you. The kind of impression I get to a degree.
Yeah, but what blows me away is this is not like exclusive to our culture. You know, this ain't exclusive. Like if you listen to Corrido's music, right, which is like that I call it, that's like Mexican cowboys. It's all about drug stories and ranchers and all of that, but it's really Mexican cowboys. And all of the shit itself was just about they have diss records, motherfuckers is getting killed over records, all kind of shit. Some of the greatest corrido singers in of all time, feel me, got killed in the middle of rivalries between two different cliques, where both cliques have a singer that represent them, and they talking shit about the other one. So again, go ahead, Trash.
No, I was gonna say that also has to do with what they're saying.
Yeah, but what? That's my point. I think it was always bad. I think now, like if you look at the movement going on in Jacksonville or the movement going on in Chicago, obviously, now when they're making and composing these diss records, niggas is actually starting to talk about niggas' dead friends and relatives. Like it's a song I always talk about, but it's out of Jacksonville. It's called Who I Smoke.
Well, that was like the Where's Waldo songs I thought were great.
Yeah. So I again, it's one of those places to where I think we like to sensationalize the past, the 80s and the 90s, and like, oh, it was cool. You could just put out diss records and niggas wouldn't have no problems. But like I said, Tony just made a good point. Like, shit, if Cube is fighting niggas at a Jack the Rapper, if Cube and the Lynch Mob is fighting niggas at a music convention, shit, niggas was fighting in. Cube got into a situation with Cam where one of Cam's friends, they got into it, like a physical altercation. The whole Death Row, Snoop, Pac, Biggie thing, that really didn't manifest into many fights or nothing. I mean,
well, how about the MC8 and the Quick thing? That seemed like Quick came out consciously and put out a track that kind of gave some respect to what was going on to try to make that unhappen.
Yeah, but even then, yeah, that's true. I mean, so I don't quite know why back then, because them diss records were really bad. Like Dollars and Cents by DJ Quick was really, really bad.
I think part of that was he had an impression like, hey, I made this a little bit more than a rap track, and those guys are right 2 lights down. And I think word got around. I should probably come out and say something a little bit different. It's pure speculation, but it wouldn't be irrational.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where I can't really give you a good point of view. Like I can't really tell you like what's really going on. I have no idea.
Again, tying it into maybe the internet, social media, young boys and older people, just in general, people being
again,
desensitized.
I don't even know
desensitized.
but I don't even know if it's that, right?
Sure.
I think that metaverse is a real thing. You feel me? Where, maybe you not hearing, because back in the day, you would hear it on the streets, right? You would hear it on the streets. So if you went outside, you're going to hear it. Like, so right now, you're going to hear it in the metaverse. If you log on, feel me? If you log on them streets, the metaverse streets, you know what I mean? Them social media streets, it could get rough for you, cuz that shit could get bad. So,
you think some of it has to do with the fact that now the money's so big that as soon as you start recording, like you're kind of out of there to some degree? So instead of
what? The more I think about it and talking to y'all about it, you know what it is? Hip hop in its truest form is a poor sport. It's a cultured sport. And it's the same thing with gangbanging. Like gangbanging has this negative connotation, but the reality is it's just very primitive. You know what I mean? It's a primitive way of solving everything. Everybody's operating in safe mode, basic. You know what I mean? Like there aren't a ton of sophisticated solutions to things because people don't have a ton of stuff to live for. They're in weird situations where they can't take care of their kids. They're in weird situations where they can't earn a livable wage. Stuff that we talk about, which makes you value life a lot less. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why hip hop kind of carries this stigma along with it, especially now with so many more rappers, right? It's so many more rappers in hip hop, but hip hop is a poor sport. So again, that behaviors at time are very primitive. They don't have sophisticated solutions. Again, because let's say the person who shot Dolph, right? Let's say Dolph got killed because of the beef he had with the other rappers in Memphis. It wasn't either of the 2 millionaire rappers that shot him. You know what I mean? It could be a poor nigga that fuck with them, a couple poor niggas that fuck with him, trying to prove their point. You know what I mean? Trying to gain rank within the organization and finally caught up to somebody, and now they finna get their points.
Without even the other rappers even knowing or being affiliated with okaying that, you're saying, right? Like just someone just trying to prove themselves.
So at one time it was just on with all of them. Feel me? It was just on. So I'd imagine, I could be wrong, but I would like to believe bullets was going back and forth to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was just one crew sending bullets. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that. So
if that were the case, they got there sooner.
Huh?
If that were the case, they'd have got there sooner and no deterrence.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that they necessarily needed an approval because it never was off. It was always on. So, again, these dudes are part of gangs and crews and shit. And again, maybe if Yo Gotti has a situation, Yo Gotti is not gonna get out the car and shoot everybody because he's $1 million nigga. He gonna think about his life. His life got value, so he gonna be real careful on what he do. You know what I'm saying? But a nigga that's trying to prove himself to Yo Gotti that belongs to the clique, that think loyalty falls his way, man, they'll do that shit for free. Feel me? And again, if it ain't off, it ain't off. Not to mention, let's say if something's going on between 2 crews and something happened to one of that nigga family members. Feel me? It didn't happen to none of, let's say, the big man's, but it happened to some soldier's family member. He can't let it go.
Yeah, but again, so you don't think it ties into the actual social media and just like what I'm talking about is the senseless killing, like being desensitized to the fact that we see it all the time now, whether it's someone getting hit by a car or ran over or thrown off a cliff or just random things that happen, right? Like you really see people dying on social media. So it kind of becomes like, oh damn, like you obviously you feel sympathetic and empathetic when someone gets killed and shot, and like, but think about it, like when the kid XXX Tentacion passed away and they're filming him while he's shot, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are we doing as a society?
That's a
bro?
whole nother conversation right there, but I agree.
I mean, I just think it ties in though. I mean,
but again, yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, but then you could blame Call of Duty. You could blame Grand Theft Auto.
I agree with it. I mean, again, ties into to movies and all kinds of stuff, right? Absolutely.
But again, I don't know if the issue again is something simple as, oh, people are okay with other people dying, right? Because I think we all understand that and know that has to happen. Even if we don't accept it, we understand it's going to happen. I think the mass of society understands that.
Yeah, but you're talking about some like knowing someone eventually will die. Like, yes, like,
but I'm saying pre-gangs and stuff, there was always war. Historically, there were always war with people dying. You know what I mean? This is not exclusive to hip hop or our communities, right? Where people die, period. Again.
But wouldn't you say that even gangs at one time had a code of ethics? Like, dudes are getting smoked in front of their kids now, bro. In front of their wives.
Yeah, but it's always going. Now, your upbringing determines your ethics, right? Or if you care about how you would go out, then you'll make those decisions. But again, man, people are doing some unsavory shit. Like, one thing I've learned to do is never say what I won't do, because I don't know what's going to compel me to do something. Again, I'm one of those type of people that always believe like I'll never let people make me not be me. But then again, the more things you get to lose and the more people you love and you care about, certain shit start making your character starts to devolve or evolve. You know what I'm saying? And then you start making different decisions based off what you have to lose.
Right. And I get what you're saying. I guess
like prime example, like as a rapper, right? If I'm not really trying to diss other rappers. I have no problem doing it, but I'm not, because for sure I'm not dissing niggas for free. Like I look at a lot of niggas home funny. Like, these niggas are dissing each other for free. Like,
what is the price for one of your diss tracks? Because I might start a GoFundMe.
I'm only dissing a nigga if the world is watching. I'm not dissing a nigga for free.
Can I disagree with you though? They're not dissing each other for free. They're dissing each other for popularity, to look bigger on to get likes, to go viral.
But I'm gonna tell you the problem in that. Like, right, rest his soul, Draco, rest in peace. Feel me? Real talented MC. When he dissed all of Inglewood, you as an Inglewood native, right? You immediately have to have a feeling. Minus that. How much more popular can you get from dissing Inglewood when you pass Nevada and don't nobody care about who you dissing from Inglewood? Like, free to me is just if Southern California is watching you, that's for free. I'm not gonna beef with another below average Southern California rapper. Like, if we gonna beef, feel me, we gonna get in the streets. I ain't finna make no records. I ain't finna talk about you on live. I'm not finna talk about you on no radio interview. If we got beef, feel me, I'm not making no record. A lot of niggas are gang members and they're making records about other gangs. Like, that's whack. Feel me? Like, I'm not mad at no nigga who did it, but that's whack to me. Cause it's like, what you trying to insult him? Like, I ain't never had beef with another hood and we trying to insult each other. I'm not finna meet you at the shopping center and be talking about your mama. Nigga, if we got issues, nigga, it's real issues. So feel me, it's real smoke that come with that. Ain't no joke, ain't no talking. I'm not even with the whole writing niggas hoods on walls and whacking them out. That shit lame to me. If we really got some problems, feel me, let's get to the problems for real. But that's me. And what I'm saying, back to the point with Draco, like, him beefing with Inglewood is free. It has no real value. It literally can only come with trauma.
To what it did, right.
And it may have nothing to do,
right.
His demise may have nothing to do with that particular situation, but it only could end that way. There was no way to go up because you are in a war and dissing all of Inglewood. So if I'm with him, I would have told him straight up, like,
because
bro, like that ain't worth it.
someone asked me, like, are you from Inglewood? I'm like, well, I'm from Inglewood for sure, because I grew up in Inglewood.
Yeah, I'm from Inglewood for sure. Yeah.
I go, when I seen the record personally, I mean,
you
you know,
feel some kind of way.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was a good record personally.
Sure.
So at that point, I was just like, whatever, dude, like he's not even good. That's how I felt, right?
Yeah.
And then, but what I did tell them was, now the guys who represent the city, whether Mexican, black, whatever, from soldiers, I'm like, they might have a whole nother outlook on how they look at it. I don't know. I can never speak for them because I don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm not in those trenches. But I wanted to connect to what you're saying, though, G. Like with everything you're saying, it's like, when did it go from just this competitive rap, right, to where it's at now? Somewhere along the line, I feel like you had situations, but for the most part, usually the diss records were supposed to be about who was the better rapper. And then at a certain point, once the money came into play, it became about, I'm better and I have more money than you, and I have more bitches than you, and I got more cars than you, and I got whatever it was, right? Like it was like, I'm just better than you in life. You know what I'm saying? And then that starts demeaning somebody. Say you do have more money than them or whatever, right? Like that leads to this real negative tension. So again, I think you always had that situation, but the early stages of hip hop was generally about who was better. Like The Bridge Is Over was literally about my borough's better than your borough, right? Like,
yeah, but even then, it was really disrespectful.
Was it though? I mean, it was, but I mean, were they gonna kill each other over it? They might fight.
But that's my point. Like, here's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
If KRS-One, because if the teacher goes through Queensbridge, let's say he goes to the housing project in Queensbridge, he probably doesn't leave there. Probably don't leave there. You know what I mean? He probably won't leave there. Right after the bridge is over, how that felt, if you from Queensbridge and you go to them projects, you probably don't leave there.
So then it's fair to say we can tie it into social media, because now they will do that just to go, I'm in your hood. I'm in your hood. I'm on your block at 3 in the morning.
That happened with a cool dude, Kafani from the Bay. And that's how he got shot. He got paralyzed. And Kafani is dope as fuck.
Who's that young kid that you showed me his video, bro? That he did the video at the guy's cemetery, or like his
black youngster.
That's insane, bro.
But again, it's one of those things where in that situation, it's still different, right? Because both of those guys are, top tier rap. They're above the average foe. They're in that 3 percentile of rappers that people know, right? So yes, that's, even though it's inner city.
They're national brands.
Huh?
They're national brands for sure.
Yeah, they're national brands. So those two going at it, that's cool. You feel me? Like, I get that. Even though the death part, that is a bit creepy. But I mean, people talked about it for a day, so maybe that's what he was trying to get. But like, back to Draco, that shit is for free, because you're not talking to national brands. You're talking about something with a whole city. I mean, again, he's dissing some rappers, but he's also dissing the streets.
Who did he diss? Because I never heard the names.
So his situation was with the little homie Ash Chike.
Wait,
Rucci, a couple dope dudes.
I know Rucci, but who was the other one?
A couple other dudes from Inglewood that's dope. Frosty, some really, all of them guys, all of me, Draco, they was all really spectacular. Draco was like a real trendsetter. Like, to me, Draco and One Take J they have the most, they're the most influential rappers on the West Coast in the last probably 5 years, 6 years. Like, people got, a lot of people kind of are influenced by what they do on the mic. So again, I wouldn't do this shit for free. Like, I'm not finna battle a nigga from LA. I'm not finna diss recording a nigga from LA that ain't even further than I am. Like, if you just where I'm at or below where I'm at, you feel me? If you not like a multi-platinum artist, like I'm a gold artist, if you're not a multi-platinum artist, like, I'm not dissing you for what? Like, if we really got problems, I'm gonna see you and get with you. That's my belief. The one thing I respected about Pac and how he framed his diss records, I respected his business acumen. He understood the value of war. He understood how much war shaped economies and created billionaires and millionaires. You know what I mean? And so when he did decided, because how do I say this? Everybody gonna be mad, but I don't give a fuck. Biggie didn't have nothing to do with him getting shot at all. He knew Biggie didn't have nothing to do with him getting shot. But he knew if he shaped the conversation, the general public would feel that way. So then their beef looks like, I'm mad you got me shot. So when he put out his diss record, remember the diss record doesn't come out till roughly June of 96. His album came out in February. The diss record came out as a maxi single, right, of How Do You Want It? So when How Do You Want It came out as a record, they used to have these things called maxi singles where they would include a couple different singles. So it might have had How Do You Want It? It might have had I think it had California Love on it. And it also had what's a goddamn song? Hit 'Em Up. You know what I'm saying? So again, he planned that whole thing. He understood the value of war. So he created a war. It was some stuff going on the side, where it was simple competitiveness, right? And the dog pound thing did get kind of crazy because they did get shot at. Even though the person didn't shoot at them close, he wasn't trying to blow their head off. Somebody could have got shot because no matter how far Trady tells a story, he said they were far away and they shot way over there. But somebody could have still got shot. So outside of that and all of the stuff at the Source Awards where they're competing, you know what I'm saying? It was simple. It was competitive. When Pac came, he made it feel real. And the reason it felt real is because we watched Pac get shot, a year and a half before that, or a year before that, and was in a wheelchair wrapped up. And we heard the stories. So again, once you figure that Biggie was in the actual vicinity, in the building, he understood how to he understood how to control emotions and why people would feel like he's upset. It didn't even matter that he told people Biggie didn't have nothing to do with it. He knew people would feel that way. And then he just compounded it with everything else about being better than him or not better than him.
Right.
Right. Or the value in his wife. How valuable was his, wife to he could sleep with his wife. That made him more valuable than Biggie. So that's worth, if you're going to put out diss records, let it be.
That's how you got to go right there.
Yeah, you got to go top tier for the coin if that's what you're doing. But if it's going to be inner city like Ja Rule and 50 Cent, which Back Down is a fantastic diss record. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. But okay, it's two national brands. At least so Fifth coming up, he's on the way, but he's not quite, well, he was there because Wankster too. So if you're going to do inner city or inner borough at that point, at least let it be two national brands. So when you're talking, the world is listening. I'm not talking and making records for 13 niggas to hear it. You feel me? Like, I'll make you a good record for that. I'm not finna put out a record on some niggas, you know what I'm saying, that I might have to kill a nigga and I done pissed him off and now he got the drop on me. I'm not going to say shit because I'm looking to get at you. A lot of niggas get on social media. My take is I'm not going to tweet. I'm not going to Instagram you. I'm not going to put up no pictures of you. I'm not even going to let you know I'm mad. If you did something to me and you know it's something, you can rest assured, you could bet your fucking bottom dollar, nigga, I'm coming, feel me? Like the motherfucking tax man, like Uncle Sam. Don't matter how long it take, I'm going to get to you. And I'm not going to say nothing about it because I want to get away with it. And the point needs to be proven between me and you, not everybody else. I'm not trying to show as an MC or as a street guy, I'm not trying to show the world that I'm a street guy. This is personal. I'm building my resume to Glasses. So when I look in the mirror, as I get older, the reason I don't tell is because when I look in the mirror, I want to be like, I made it without telling. And whatever I do, I want it to be known for me versus my homies. The way that I was taught was you do this so other people, know that you about that shit. For me, it's about me. You don't got to know whether I'm about that shit because I'm not going to say nothing that's going to get too far out of hand. See, still got
Yeah.
that stupid ass teddy bear up there.
Oh, that's
I don't know what
fast.
he disappeared like 30 minutes
He
ago.
right there.
He's on a
there.
call.
Oh, is
Yeah,
he?
with a
Yeah.
fucking teddy bear.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice ass nigga.
My favorite rap beef right now by far, just because of how long it's gone on and the details and stuff. I do like that Mozzie CML beef.
You know what I don't like about that shit is motherfuckers getting killed over that shit.
Oh yeah, big time. But the fact that it continues to go on and on amidst all of that, that there was like there was parole terms through advocacy as part of that beef.
Who you saying, Mozzie and who?
CML, this cat from Sac.
Yeah.
That's a great ongoing. He came out. Where's Waldo too? Where he came out with the what's his name interview in the beginning, and said, "Yeah, after part one, so and so got shot within 12 hours. I just didn't give a fuck." And then he does the whole song again.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I won't even listen to them records. When niggas start getting killed,
yeah,
I log
He
off.
talked about he put his cousin, shot him in the back or something like that, and he gotta have like a catheter now. He called him shitbag such and such or whatever. I'm just like, dude, that's way over the line. That's what it is
to me. That's what it is, Trash. Like, once a nigga gets shot, it ain't records no more. I'm not listening to no more rap records. I'm gonna log off completely because this shit is serious.
These tracks are evidentiary.
Yeah.
It's like a self-snitching album.
Well, but isn't that all the rappers do that shit now? They snitch on themselves, bro.
Well, most of them is not killing nobody. The rappers themselves are rarely killing somebody. It's somebody in their crew or somebody that
still
came
snitching. It doesn't matter. It's like if you talking about it just to try to look hard.
They're not saying, "Hey, this person killed this person."
Yeah, well,
they're saying,
he is.
They're saying, "Yeah, he is." I'm not giving it to America. That shit is.
If there's an injunction on 30s, which there probably is, that dude is so Rico vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Again, I'm not fucking with that. When motherfuckers start getting shot and shit, this shit real. And now I'm not playing. You feel me? Now I'm gonna take it like a real situation where niggas is getting shot. That's different. Like I'm not the advocate of niggas getting shot. I don't give a fuck how much cripping and blah, blah, blah. I'm not the advocate of niggas shooting each other. Feel me? And then me being a part of it or enjoying it. It's serious now. So now it's like either I'm just gonna log off for the whole shit. Feel me? I'm gonna log off, or I'm gonna try to become something in the middle, be like, hey, this shit going too far. So in that particular situation, I logged off, bro. That shit got way too. It's dope when you flexing rap skills and y'all maybe squabble a little bit or something. Oh, niggas start popping niggas next to niggas and niggas start getting killed. You niggas tripping. I'm not in the booth making no rap song. If a nigga kill one of my homeboys behind some rap shit, rap is done.
Yeah.
It's on now. Now we got to get the catalyst. We got to get the nucleus for the problem. We got to go ahead and kill a whole cell. We got to get right. Feel me? We're going to get the yolk. Feel me? You're going to be eating egg whites. Ain't no flavor in that shit because for sure, we're going to get the yolk. So I don't know how. That's another thing. Like, I don't respect niggas who rap after one of your friends get killed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad about getting no money, but if a nigga killed one of your friends, I don't give a fuck. You kill 4 of his friends, ain't nothing to rap about. Feel me? Because you got to extinguish the problem in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That shit ain't right.
That's reasonable.
And diss records have just came to another height. Like I'm saying, it's like, again, it's so many rappers now, so it seems like rappers is dying every week.
Well, I think again the problem happened with hip hop in general, right? Like rap music, which is part of hip hop, right? Is that it stopped being like, I guess the era that maybe a lot of us grew up in, where it was about what you're saying, like being good at what you're saying. Like, I'm not saying that none of these guys aren't good, because there are guys that can rap, but I don't think that they value that as much anymore, right?
I don't agree with that.
They really, you think they really, man, I'm tight. I don't even hear nobody say nothing like that. Like, their whole shit is still about, I got money and I got this and I got that, and then I'll kill you and shoot you and fuck your bitch and fuck your wife.
I mean, but you could date that back to, nigga, what is no Vaseline? God damn, I'm glad y'all said it all. Used to be hard. Now you just wet and soft. First you was down with the AK. You ain't talking about no motherfucking rap song. Now I see you on the video of Michelet looking like straight bozos. I saw it coming. That's why I went solo and kept on stomping. While y'all motherfuckers moved straight out of Compton, living with the whites without another nigga in sight. Feel me? He wasn't, he wasn't talking about no motherfucking being better. He was going at them niggas core, let alone hit them up. He starts the song off saying, that's why I fucked your bitch. So,
but that's why I think it started changing.
Yeah, but it had to change with Q. Nigga, even if you read the lyrics to motherfucking but even the bridge is over.
Yeah, but those were the diss tracks. The other songs that were happening, like say on the same album or that came out the same summer, there were guys that were still rapping kind of or making at least a point, if they weren't explicitly saying, this is a song I'm going to rap about how good a rapper I am. It was written in such a way as to highlight how good of a rapper you were. And then sometime probably about 2000 to change, it was about, like Pimp C said, it's about you talk about your dope prices and how much weight you moving and how many guns are in the trunk. And that was all you're talking about. Nobody cares.
Yeah, but listen, like, sure, like, so the Queensbridge, yes, he had more about being a better rapper. But then there's other songs, he calling them niggas gay in that same song.
But now that's the whole album. The other songs don't exist.
Shit, I don't know. Maybe so. I never heard a whole diss album.
Well, not to say the diss album, but like there's the diss tracks in the album, and the other album, the rest of the album is not really about refining your craft so much as it is just about bragging, whether it be righteously or falsely.
He's right.
This nigga said Mr. Magic sucks dicks in his rap. KRS-One said Mr. Magic is sucking dick. Your mouth is good for sucking. Your mouth is good for sucking. Yeah. It always been disrespectful. It's always been. And now they just getting more disrespectful. But if you telling another man that a man sucking dick, it don't get more disrespectful than that. I don't even know if saying fuck your dead friend is worse than saying a nigga you sucking dick.
No, you're right. I mean, again, when you start to really look at the lyrics, I think maybe it was just,
I think how we felt about it was different.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get ready to say.
But I agree with you. Everybody don't pride themselves or they're not passionate as hip hop artists or even as MCs or even, I think we have a lot of great rappers making great rap songs. Not a ton, but we got a lot. We got a nice amount.
It seems
but it's still not even about them being great rappers. It's literally it's literally become a hustle to try to make money.
Yeah, but streaming services created that middle class of it. Where now
they took advantage, I think, of it.
Yeah, but 100%. But they created a bigger middle class to where now you don't actually have to try to be the best.
True.
All you have to do is create a style or a genre and find your audience, and you'll make a living. See, hip hop before it wasn't like that. It was either reserved for the elite or the passionate. Mm-hmm. Everybody was passionate. Even the underground guys was like, let's say a Planet Asia. Feel me? He was passionate about the craft, and I agree with you. These guys are more or less about, making that coin, and nobody can be mad at them. When you pour, it's opportunity.
And again, only 1%.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say only 1% of people can be in the top 1%. Say if you're talking about the skill set of rappers, if like when Eazy-E came out, he wasn't one of the best pure rappers out, but he made a lot of money and he was super famous, selling an image and making a movie on wax. Well, it's easier to do that as a 50 percentile rapper. So then everybody else who's not in the top 1% rappers realizes, I have a blueprint now. You can see where that went from a small slice of records to now the majority of records by probably about 2007 or 8. People were just out there making songs and saying whatever in any kind of way. And even like really, really good rappers probably were worth less than really, really marketable images who couldn't rap so good. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh, I think that's a valid point. That's
the end.
I guess that's that.
You said what, G?
It's over.
Of being a good rapper?
No, it's over as far as
No, the show's over.
podcast is over.
We're in post recording.
But I can't end it because still has the end button.
I guess we'd all just leave under protest.
Still.
He can't hear you. He turned it down.
He muted it out.
Real. All right. Well, I'm logging out, fellas.
All right.
Sounds good. Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah,
Great
for sure,
content.
man.
Thanks a
Pleasure,
lot.
brother.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Likewise.